All right, a lot going on. Tuesday. Let's see. I think it's coming up on 7 o'clock. Let's see. Well, the Lord got me up later today, so I think I woke up after 6. So that's a rarity. But yesterday was a really long day for me. Really, really long. Um, I think I was up till I think it was up to like 4. So really didn't get that much sleep. But felt like I needed to get some sleep rather than just staying awake and trying to function without sleep all day. But yeah, so yesterday I felt like um I really wanted to understand or see things better. Yeah, so I just felt like this hunger or thirst just to understand or gain perspective. Yeah, maybe that's it. It's just gain perspective. So after kind of my so after spending a bunch of time with the Lord, um, I just I end up doing a lot of searching, digging, if you will, looking for information, looking for answers, if you will. Just just like, and even wanting to listen to what are other people's perspective about what's happening globally. So I recognize that could be a bit dangerous. Um, well, one, if you don't know and you start digging and you start looking, how do you know what's true, right? At least for me, right? So and then there's there's just so much information out there. Um, yeah. So again, could be dangerous. You got to use wisdom and discernment. Um, and if you really want to know, and if you really want more information, you're going to find it, and you might not like what you find. So, or you might not know how to process it, or all the above. So anyway, I took in a lot of information yesterday evening and early into this morning. Uh, it's amazing. It is just amazing what you don't know. It's amazing how much is out there. And again, what lens does this go through, or what filter does this go through? And again, how do you know what's true and what's not? Um, yeah. So, and then there's just so many rabbit holes that you can go down. Um, and again, it's like, how far do you want to go, and how much do you want to know about a lot of different things? So, and again, it's not all pleasant. So I understand, right? Sometimes ignorance is bliss, right? What you don't know won't hurt you, or what you don't know. And sometimes you might feel and think it's better just to not know. Um, and again, as you start, if anybody, wants to figure out stuff, and then they find stuff, and then they find some stuff that's pretty ugly and pretty dark, um, it's hard to process, what really is going on. Um, and again, it's like, how much is true, and you kind of don't know. But it can be overwhelming, not in a good way. Or it could be overwhelming because there's just so much information. or it could be overwhelming because it's too hard to handle, or it's too deep, or it's too, yeah, it's just too dark, or it's, yeah, it's too something, right? Um, and we've been, I mean, just, some of these terms people might not like, but we've been programmed, if you will, right? I mean, we're a product of our environment, and we believe certain things because we've been told certain things, and there's just the way that it is, and so yeah, so there's just this kind of program situation, and you don't know that you're, you know, being indoctrinated or you're being programmed or whatever, but it's just how it is. It's like one day you wake up and you go, what's really going on? And then um, you do a little digging and you're like, okay, I always thought that something was a bit askew, a bit off. Uh, and then I always wondered about this, or I always wondered about that. And again, the more you find out, it's like, okay, I understand. Sometimes it's been told, right? We're told, hey, it's for protection, right? It's better that you don't know because you can't handle it, or you won't be able to process it, or it's too out there to comprehend. And again, some of this is too dark and too ugly that it's just, yeah, it's almost beyond capacity to comprehend, understand, or even get your arms around, um, how things are, what the reality is out there. So yeah, so anyway, so I spent a bunch of time yesterday digging, researching, reading, viewing, listening. So I think today I'm probably just in process, right? So I'm processing all that stuff. Um, yeah, I would say there's probably nothing, I didn't really find anything new, but I found more detail. Um, so that's good, right? Yeah, but uh, I think most people really would rather not know. I think most people don't even, yeah, I think it, again, you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't know, you're not really going to question, or if you have questions and you keep getting shut down, you just kind of give up after a while. But I think how the Lord has made me, there's just been this built-in natural curiosity to always wonder, hey, well, what about this? And why are things like this? And um, yeah, yeah, and maybe now it's just a time for me to gain more information, gain better insight. And then it's okay, you have information, you can, you know, it helps to shape kind of how you see things, how you perceive things. Um, and then it also, like, it may change, like, okay, well, how do you proceed going forward, right? Or, yeah, or even, it might be even paralyzing, do I want to go forward, and what does going forward look like? What does tomorrow look like, Um, yeah, so I think I'm processing, and then there's also, I feel like the Lord is just asking, I think He's preparing me. So this is just me. I think He's preparing me for my future. He's preparing me for my destiny, uh, whatever that might be. I think I still don't know, but it's getting a little bit more clear. Um, and then maybe in a front runner, right? So my tendency, and it's always to go first, to go run ahead. It's like that's just my nature. I can't help it. Um, Even when I don't want to, I just, okay, I just have to do that. That's just, again, just something kicks in, and that's just how it is for me. Don't like it always. I mean, but I've embraced that that's a part of who I am, and it's like, okay, so then I have to, take inventory of that in this season and time, and just go, okay, well, I'm just maybe a little ahead of the pack, if you will. There's a bunch of people that are, way ahead of me, but there's probably more people that are, you know, that don't know and don't want to know and don't know that they. So I feel like the Lord is also telling me that now is not the time for me. Um, right? So it's kind of like, okay, this was my journey, or part of my journey is to figure stuff out on my own, right? It's like, okay, and I'm doing that, right? So the Lord has built in me, being a front runner, so I rush ahead or go ahead. I don't need to go with other people, so I can go it alone. Not necessarily, not saying that's best always, but that's again just kind of how it is for me. And this is a part of my process, right? So he's doing the work in me, right? Been doing the work in me, continuing to do work in me, and I think down the road, things will kind of all come together, and then there might be a day when the Lord says, okay, now's the time to step into the whole of this, and, then it would be appropriate to share. Share, what I've gleaned, share my perspective, share, so I also kind of, again, taking kind of personal inventory. It's like, okay, well, even though I'm a mercy, can't help that too. I think there's a bit of profit in me. I don't always like to say that or admit that, but because of that, there, the, and I don't fully understand profit. Barely understand mercy. But as a prophet, you have, or herald, if you will, you have a message uh, to uh, share. Um, and so, if that's true, then now is not the time for the message to be shared. That's my sense. So I'm okay with that. I'm just so for me, it's right. So I've already done 2 walkabouts with the Lord, took out the trash, purged, just process with the Lord, and and then I'm processing my life and where I am right now with the Lord. Hey, what's going on? What do you want me to do with this, if anything? Um, so interesting. So kind of my journey. Talked a little bit about my journey yesterday, and so I was just amazed that So I'm not a tech person. I'm not good with technology. I'm not good with computers. But I was just amazed that I just started to dig a little bit, and I was able to find a lot of stuff. Was that an accident? I don't know. And the stuff that I'm finding, about different subjects, about there's at least one, two, at least 3 to 4 different major subjects about the time in the season. And the interesting thing about what I found were there's a lot of similarities. It was like, and it's not. It just it. The best I can say is it was kind of one thing was kind of confirming another, was confirming another, and it's like different puzzle pieces falling into place. So you get kind of a more fuller picture, and I was recognizing, oh, this is all a part of a bigger whole, or a bigger perspective. So if anything, I was just fascinated with that here I'm on this quest to know more about a lot of different major issues. And I'm finding that uh, there is overlap, and there's um, yeah, and it helps you to understand, right, kind of the past, and it kind of helps me to understand, oh, this is why things are the way they are. Again, because yeah, I've always had questions. I've always wondered, why are things the way they are? And again, this curiosity, right? And curiosity is not always good, because sometimes you find out things you really don't want to find out. Um, and you're probably better off not knowing, just, from a emotional or even mental health or well-being. But the more that you know, it's helps you to better understand, again, just why things are the way they are. Um, and because it's so big, there's kind of nothing you could do about it anyway. Which is, yeah. And then, well, even when you've gleaned a bunch of information, and what do you do with that? If anything. So all that to say is, I feel like, again, the Lord has me on a journey. He has me on a path, and He's asking me to continue doing what I'm doing. So He's like, okay, um, continue the purging process, right? That's good, right? Continue letting go of what. Oh, okay, with that, okay, all right. As I purged today, as I threw out a bunch of stuff, I'm going and I'm throwing it in the dumpster, and then I had this epiphany, and it just so happened, right? So I don't know, the Lord has me kind of cleaning out my closet. So I'm throwing out a bunch of clothes, and so as I'm throwing about a bunch of clothes, the Lord, and this is kind of His humor, as I'm taking it to the dumpster, and it's kind of an armload, I'm reminded of, some of the looters, over the last few days, and it's like, see, look at what you're doing. Your assignment is different. I'm asking you to get rid of stuff, and other people, they have this need to. So it's just the opposite, right? So here I am, I'm throwing stuff out, clothes specifically, and then, there's all these images of people running in stores and coming out with, armloads of clothes. Not always, but, a lot of times it's clothes. So it's just, the Lord was just kind of giving me perspective is, look, your call is different, right? I'm asking you to follow me. I'm asking you to dwell with me. I'm asking you to walk with me. I'm asking you to process with me. And you need, and this is Him telling me, it's like, so as I am in alignment with Him, and so He says, look, if you have to be in alignment before you receive your assignment. So I have to learn how to stay aligned with the Lord. That's my call. That's what He's asking me to do. This season of purging and walking in, and processing and dwelling and abiding and connecting, and aligning myself with Him is just this is my life. This is my lifestyle, and I don't always get it right. I wander off, or check out or whatever. Uh, but the more this becomes natural in my way of life, is that if I can stay in alignment, then He will release me to my assignment. So again, all that to say is, now is not the right time for me. My time is to process. My time is to be transformed. My time is to deal with my stuff as best I can, and get prepared for whatever He wants me to do in the future. So that's good. So at least I know my place, or my call, at least initially or right now. So He's continue pressing in, continue seeking, continue dwelling, and it's good, right? It's not boring, right? Every day I'm learning more, right, about Him, right? He's pouring into me. He's, so there's the purging process, right? So I'm getting rid of stuff and getting rid of old stuff, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? Gaining greater healing, being restored, being redeemed. Um, yeah, and I think it's all the preparation of for my future or my destiny, if you will. Yeah, so I think I'm getting closer, and I don't even know how long is this my transformation process going to be or take? I don't know. Um, week, a month, a year, decade, don't know. But this is what the Lord is asking me to do. So two, I think again the Lord has made me this way, so it's like do my due diligence, do what I have to do for me. If there's so much more information, there's so much more I don't know, so much more detail, so much more history, if you will. Um, I could stop now and be good for quite a while, or I could continue on my journey, or I could park it now, pick it up, a couple days or a week from now, and just see. Um, but I don't have the need to feel like, okay, I need to press in and learn all there is to know. It's like, um, but we'll see, So again, I'm happy or satisfied that the Lord is just saying, now is not the time to release. Now is the time to receive and be transformed, and I'm good with that. So, yeah, I know this next part is might seem very petty. Maybe on the whole of it is petty. I don't know. But anyway, so I've not been going out, really at all. Just lockdown, right? So okay, do what I got to do. So I haven't gone out for a while, but it's time to resupply. So today I'm like, okay, so I would, like, okay, hey, I would like to go to Target or I'd like to go to Walmart, resupply. There's a Target like less than a block away from me. It's closed because of our current situation. Now I got to find out. Well, okay, well, where do I go? Where where else is there a Target? And is Walmart going to be open? I don't know, right? So we'll see. Yeah, so today there's a bit of an adventure this morning to go out, survey the land. I mean, that's not my intent to survey the land, but just as I go out beyond the perimeters of my property line, it's what's happening out there. What will I encounter? Um, are things the same? It's again, so the Target by me is not open. How far do I have to go to find a Target that's open? Or again, is the nearest Walmart, is that open? And and I might be frustrated. I might be disillusioned or whatever because I might not find anything open. But praying for grace and mercy that whatever happens is okay. Thank you, Jesus.